All right, we're here for the daily Forex report for April 12th. We are looking at the U.S. Japanese yen pair. This particular pair did close higher, did fill the gap from Sunday's open, from previous Friday's close to Sunday's open. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways with a bias that is sideways. Look for it to potentially go as high as 94.11, possibly as low as 92.39. Look for some resistance around 93.75 and look for some support around 92.75. Did get a question about these numbers. This top number is basically the highest I see it going potentially. This bottom number is the lowest I see it potentially going. If it moves, if the market hits this number, this is when you should hit some resistance where it should pause or pull back. And to the downside, this is where it should pause or pull back. So that's kind of what these numbers look for. Now, sometimes they're the same. Like in the Euro USD, we are looking for kind of the same numbers, looking for it to potentially go as high and hit resistance around 137.00, possibly moving down to 135.50 and hitting support there. Now, this pair did gap up, has pulled lower, basically back to previous resistance, but has not pushed lower. The odds are it will go ahead and close that gap prior to Friday's close. Now, the pound US dollar pair, it gapped up. It has moved lower, closed lower. We are looking for it to potentially hit some resistance around 154.95 if it does pull back. If it moves lower, look for some support around 153.18. Now, the U.S. Swiss, this particular pair gapped down a rather large amount, gapped right down to previous support. It did close higher today. We are looking for it to fill the gap during the next session or two. This particular pair, we are looking for it to move higher, but overall, if you notice, moving sideways. Now, look for this pair to potentially move as high as 106.76, possibly as low as 104.74. Look for some resistance around 106.50 and look for some support around 105.05. Well, that wraps us up for that. As far as news announcements goes, there are no significant news announcements for tomorrow's session. If you notice, out of all the gaps that we looked at yesterday, we have the U.S. Swiss. It has not retraced yet, but it did move higher. The pound, it closed its gap from Sunday to previous Friday's close. The euro moved lower but didn't quite fill it yet. The U.S. Japanese yen pair did fill the gap from its open to its previous Friday's close. The New Zealand, same deal, opened here, previous Friday's close, it did fill that gap. And the Australian U.S. dollar pair gapped up and filled that gap as well. So out of the 6 pairs we just went through, all but 2 of them have retraced. So this retracement is very strong, does occur pretty quick. Now, as far as what I'm looking for during this next session, other than the 2 pairs that we looked at that haven't retraced, to retrace, there's this nice little swing trade setup in the yen. Looking for it to break to the downside and basically come down to this area of previous support that we've had. Let me draw the lines out a little bit better. You can see here that we have roughly about a 61, 62 pip move there. So I'm looking for a short and looking for it to come on down to the 92.28 area, probably putting a stop loss above this high. Well, that about wraps us up for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.